Sure. Thank you so much. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. I'll just recite. Text number 1. Matreya uvacha iti te varnita shataha kalakya paramatmanaha mahima veda garbhota yatashrakshin nibodame.
Hare Krishna. Maitreya said, O learned Vidura, so far I have explained to you the glories of the form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his feature of Kala. Now you can hear from me about the creation of Brahma, the reservoir of all Vedic knowledge.
Text number 2. Text number 2. Sasargre nidhi tamishram atha tamishram adikrit moham cha tamascha jnana vriteyah.
Brahma first created the nascent engagements like self-deception, the sense of death, anger after frustration, the sense of false ownership, and the illusionary bodily conception or forgetfulness of one's real identity.
Text number 3. Drishtva papishayam sristam natmanam bahava amanyata bhagavadyana putena manashanyan tato shrajat.
Seeing such a misleading creation as a sinful task, Brahma did not feel much pleasure in his activity, and therefore he purified himself by meditation on the personality of Godhead. Then he began another term of creation.
Text number 4. Sanakam cha sanandam cha sanatanam atam babu sanat kumaran cha munin nishkriyan urdva retashaha.
In the beginning, Brahma created four great sages named Sanaka, Sananda, Sanatana, and Sanatkumara. All of them were unwilling to adopt materialistic activities because they were highly elevated due to their semen flowing upwards.
Text number 5. Tambabashe swabhavu putran prajashrista putrakaha tannaichan moksha dharmano vasudeva parayana.
Brahma spoke to his sons after generating them. My dear sons, he said, now generate progeny. But due to their being attached to Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they aimed at liberation and therefore they expressed their unwillingness.
Text number 6. सोवाद्यता सुतैरेवं प्रत्यक्याघातानुशानै क्रोधं दुर्विषहं जातं नियतम् उपचाक्रमे.
On the refusal of the sons to obey the order of their father, there was much anger generated in the mind of Brahma, which he tried to control and not express.
Text number 7. Diya nigraha manopi dhruvormadhyat prajapate sadyo jayate tanmunyo kumaro nila lohitaha.
Although he tried to curb his anger, it came out from between his eyebrows, and a child mixed blue and red was immediately generated.
Text number 8. Savairuruda devanam purvajo bhagavan bhavaha namani kuru me dataha stanani cha jagadguru.
After his birth, he began to cry, O destiny maker, teacher of the universe, kindly designate my name and place.
Text number 9. Iti tasya vacha padmo bhagavan paripalayan abhyadad badraya vacha marodistat karomite.
The all-powerful Brahma, who was born from the lotus flower, pacified the boy with gentle words, accepting his request, and said, Do not cry. I shall certainly do as you desire.
Text number 10. Ya arodi sudashreshta sodvega iva balakaha tatastvam abhidasyanti namna rudra iti praja.
Thereafter Brahma said, O chief of the demigods, you shall be called by the name of Rudra by all people, because you have so anxiously cried.
Text number 9. Hrid indriyani asur vyamo vayur agnir jalam mahi suryas chandras tapas chaiva stanani agre kritani te.
My dear boy, I have already selected the following places for your residence: the heart, the senses, the air of life, the sky, the air, the fire, the water, the earth, the sun, the moon, and austerity.
Text number 12. Manyur manur mahinaso mahan shiva ritadvaja ugrareta bhava kalo vamadevo drita vrataha.
Lord Brahma said, My dear boy Rudra, you have 11 other names: Manyu, Manu, Mahinasa, Mahan, Siva, Ritajvaja, Ugrareta, Bhava, Kala, Vamadeva, and Dritavrata.
Text number 13. Didriti rasalomacha niyot sarpir ilambika iravati swada diksha rudranyo rudrate striyaha.
O Rudra, you also have 11 wives called the Rudranis, and they are as follows: Di, Triti, Rasala, Uma, Niyut, Sarpi, Ila, Ambika, Iravati, Swada, and Diksha.
Text number 14. Grihanaitani namani stanani chasa yoshanaha ebi shrija praja bahvi prajanam asi yat patihi.
My dear boy, you may now accept all the names and places designated for you and your different wives. And since you are now one of the masters of the living entities, you may increase the population on a large scale.
Text 15. Iti adista swaguruna bhagavan nila lohitaha sattvakriti swabhavena sasarjatma sama praja.
The most powerful Rudra, whose bodily color was blue mixed with red, created many offspring exactly resembling him in features, strength, and furious nature.
Text number 16. Rudranam Rudra Shristanam Samantad Grasatam Jagat Nisamya Sankhya So Yutan Prajapatir Asankata.
The sons and grandsons generated by Rudra were unlimited in number, and when they assembled together, they attempted to devour the entire universe. When Brahma, the father of the living entities, saw this, he became afraid of the situation.
Text number 17. Alam Prajabi Sristabir Idrisibi Surotama Maya Saha Dahantibir Dishas Chaksubir Ulbanai.
Brahma told Rudra, O best among the demigods, there is no need for you to generate living entities of this nature. They have begun to devastate everything on all sides with the fiery flames from their eyes, and they have even attacked me.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji and Mataji,
Thank you.
Saroj Mataji and Shyam Prabhuji, for your beautiful recitations. So, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Sorry, I called you at the last minute, and you,
Oh,
even though you were unprepared, you recited so beautifully. Thank you so much.
so please don't say sorry, Mataji. It's a privilege to serve you. Yes.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you for your seva. So, dear devotees, while waiting for Mamta Mataji to facilitate our class, she'll be joining us shortly. I'll recite the Mangalacharan. You can all join me behind muted mics. Let's put our hands together. Let's pray very sincerely. Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gora Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you so much, dear devotees. Hope you all are keeping well. And so Mamta Mataji still hasn't joined yet. But in the meantime, what we will do is read the verses that Mamta Mataji will be discussing a bit later. Today we are doing verses 6 to 9. We will read the Sanskrit and also the translation and purport, if there is a purport. So let me ask if anybody would like to read the Sanskrit. Gauranga Gopi Mataji Hare Krishna. Would you like to read the Sanskrit verse number 6, please?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Yes, I can try. Thank you.
Thank you.
Savadyata suterevam pratyakyatanu shanehi krodam durvaisham jatam niyantum upachakrame.
And the translation, please, Jyoti Mataji. Thank you. And purport, please. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Mamta Mataji. I've just finished reciting the Mangalacharan. So
Thank you so much,
Gaurangi Gopi Mataji is reading verse number 6, the translation
Okay.
and the purport, just as you joined us. If that's okay, can she carry on reading?
Please, sorry, Mataji. Yes, my
Thank you.
apologies.
On the refusal of the sons to obey the order of their father, there was much anger generated in the mind of Brahma, which he tried to control and not express. Brahma is the director in charge of the mode of passion of material nature. Therefore, it was natural for him to become angry on the refusal of his sons to obey his order. Although the Kumaras were right in such acts of refusal, Brahma, being absorbed in the mode of passion, could not check his passionate anger. He did not express it, however, because he knew that his sons were far enlightened in spiritual advancement, and thus he should not express his anger before them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please let me stop you there. Because I think the chapter is wrong, Mataji. It is chapter 13 we are doing because we finished all this last time.
Yes.
It is It is actually the chapter is chapter 13, the appearance of Lord Varaha.
It should be chapter 13, Jyoti
13.
Mataji.
Sorry, Mataji.
So sorry about that.
Please read again, Mataji, chapters, this from 6 to 9. So, Mataji, who was reading just now, can you please again read the verse 6, 7? Please continue, read it, Mataji. Sorry for that.
Yes, Mataji. Maitreya uvacha yada svaparya sudam jataha swayambhuvo manuhu prajalihi pranatasthedam veda garbham abhashata. Did you want me to do the word for word?
Yes, Mataji, please
So,
read the
Maitreya,
translation. Number 6.
Maitreya said to Vidura, after his appearance, Manu, the father of mankind, along with his wife, thus addressed the reservoir of Vedic wisdom, Brahma, with obeisances and folded hands.
Please read the next verse also, Mataji.
Tvameka sarvabhutanam jamakrid vridhidaha pita tathapi naha prajanam te sushrashu kena va bhavet. You are the father of all living entities and a source of their subsistence. Because they are all born of you, please order us how we may be able to render service unto you. A son's duty is not only to make the father the source of supply for all his needs, but also, when he is grown up, to render service unto him. That is the law of creation, beginning from the time of Brahma. A father's duty is to bring up the son until he is grown, and when the son is grown up, it is his duty to render service unto the father. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, please read the whole again, 8 and 9, so we finish it off, unless somebody else wants to do it.
Tadvedihi namastubhyam karmastiti tama shaktishu yat kritreha yasho vishwag amutra cha bhavet gatihi. O worshipful one, please give us your direction for the execution of duty within our working capacity, so that we can follow it for fame in this life and progress in the next. Brahma is the direct recipient of Vedic knowledge from the personality of Godhead, and anyone discharging his entrusted duties in disciplic succession from Brahma is sure to gain fame in this life and salvation in the next. The disciplic succession from Brahma is called the Brahma Sampradaya, and it descends as follows: Brahma, Narada, Vyasa, Madhva Muni, Purna Pradyana, Padmanabha, Nrahi, Madhava, Akshobhaya, Jayatirtha, Jana Sindhu, Dhyayanti, Vidyayanti, Rajeshrat, Jayamedhana, Purushottama, Brahmanyartirtha, Vyashistha, Lakshmipati, Madhavendrapuri, Ishwarapuri, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Swarupa Damodara, and Sri Rupa Goswamis, and others. Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Krishna Das Goswami, Narottama Das Thakur, Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Jagannatha Das Babaji, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishora Das Babaji, Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. This line of disciplic succession from Brahma is spiritual, whereas the genealogical succession from Manu is material. But both are on a progressive march towards the same goal of Krishna consciousness.
Please also do the last verse, Mataji.
Brahmavacha Vitastubhyamaham tata svastistadvam kshitirshvara yanirvalikena hrida sadhi matyatmana atmanarpitam. Lord Brahma said, "My dear son, O Lord of the world, I am very pleased with you, and I desire all blessings for both you and your wife. You have without reservation surrendered yourself unto me with your heart for my instructions. The relationship between the father and son is always sublime. The father is naturally disposed with good will towards the son, and he is always ready to help the son in his progress in life. But in spite of the father's good will, the son is sometimes misguided because of his misuse of personal independence. Every living entity, however small or big he may be, has the choice of independence. If the son is unreservedly willing to be guided by the father is then 10 times more eager to instruct and guide him by all means. The father and son relationship, as exhibited here in the dealings of Brahma and Manu, is excellent. Both the father and the son are well qualified, and their example should be followed by all mankind. Manu, the son, unreservedly asked the father Brahma to instruct him, and the father, who was full of Vedic wisdom, was very glad to instruct. The example of the father of mankind may be rigidly followed by mankind, and that will advance the cause of the relationship of father and sons. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Shiji Mataji, for really guiding everyone. So Hare Krishna. So this is such a lovely chapter. We have come. So every time we're progressing now from previous how the Kumaras and from there for the how the creation of Kumaras to now how Lord Varaha appears. So this comes after Manu, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa. After they are born, when Brahmaji created them, how Lord Varaha comes into this world. So we can see from this chapter like how beautifully. So we are just to go back again in the sages, Naimisharanya, they're all listening to Shukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, who obviously just in his 7 days, he's got in his 7 days of life. Because of him, we are actually listening to this Bhagavatam. So all credit goes to Parikshit Maharaj for asking such a beautiful question, and Shukadeva Goswami Maharaj giving us this whole story so we could hear. So again, from that, there's a story in story where we have Vidura is asking Maitreya Muni to tell us about all the pastimes of the Lord. So till now we said that how Brahma was born, how Brahma was created, and then he tried to create all the other sons and daughters mentally, yeah. And now we are coming to materialistically how into taking these elements of the earth, physical body. So what are our bodies? Our bodies are made of these 5 elements and earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Out of that, we are formed of flesh, bones, and blood, and everything, all the fluids inside the body. So now this is all materialistic things happening here. So these verses, these 3 or 4 verses, it is mostly to do with relationship, basically. How we should respect a relationship and what is the link between father and son or mother and daughter, whichever way you can take it. So it is the relationship from one generation to another, and how we should maintain that relationship, and so that it can progress further. And also, Prabhupada is trying to explain the purpose is that when we are born in this life, so in this life, with that consciousness, whatever you do, good things, that will be carried on to the next life. So if that is only if the Lord is pleased, you have to satisfy the Lord. Without the Lord's satisfaction, everything is a waste. Yeah. So we should, how can that be done? By following the Guru Parampara, the Sampradaya, because whatever they have said, they have heard, they just pass it on through this lineage where we just listen by hearing and doing all the Navadha Bhakti, we hear from the spiritual leaders, and from them, then we take it in and then pass it on to the next generation. So that is how the spirituality remains. The same thing at the other line we see the materialistic thing, where even in Bhagavad Gita it says, you have to, you have to keep your generation as pure as possible, So because otherwise, he says, if you do not, then you will have different progeny, where then you will lose the heritage of this pureness. So it becomes a bit adulterated. So now I'm not going with the materialistic thing of adulteration, because that can souls are different, they can recognize. Maybe we are all linked in a past life, so we don't know who marries whom and who has children with whom. It all depends upon, if as long as you're pure and honest, that is more important. So this is what they're trying to say over here. So now Manu, first remember in the mind how Brahmaji will bring out these two forms, Manu and Shatarupa. But they say in the previous chapter how we do not know what is the relation. So even though they're coming from the mind, so some people might say like, oh, they're brother and sisters. So that relation is not being told over here what it is. So now Manu is the main king of this whole world and Shatarupa is his wife. And through them comes this materialistic generation of children. And that is how this earth is filled with the living entities. Now what happens is the son, you can see how the son is obedient. He knows his father is full of wisdom. So he doesn't become independent and goes off out and say, oh, I will do my own. And nowadays, how you have a generation where they think once they are independent, they don't have to listen to their parents, But forgetting that as a child, the parents have taken all the trouble to bring up these children in a particular way, so that they are made independent, so that their parents always try to bring up the children in such a way that they will be able to look after themselves when the parents are not there. That is the idea actually. But what happens in nowadays generation is, once they know they're independent, they just walk away from the parents, which is a sad thing really. And nowadays you see that more and more often. But this, in Bhagavatam, this is such a beautiful example of how it shows that even Brahmaji is full of wisdom, but after Manu was born or created, he asks for advice, his father. And usually, so the father will be more pleased if once they asked for, otherwise they don't want to invade the independence of the children, and they feel that they don't want to hurt the children. So they wait for the children to ask them for advice. And once they give, they feel very happy, and then they're more than happy to help them out. So over here, father's duty is to bring up the son until he's grown, and when the son is grown up, it's his duty to render service unto his father. But nowadays, that cycle is a little bit disappearing. Hopefully, it will come back later. Just pray for that. So all that will only come back once we teach our next generation the right things. And I still believe nowadays people don't like it, but before we used to have this the joint families. I can understand some people would be really, really difficult for them to look after the whole thing. But in the joint family, you would always see when the child was born, obviously his first school will be at home and he'll be looked after. His grandparents will be at, obviously because the parents are busy with lots of other duties. So the grandparents usually look after the children. And then when they grow up, they're among these aunts and uncles and cousins, and also they have a beautiful relationship. Now, the same thing, what is happening is children are finding those relationships outside the family, because they all become so nuclear. Everybody has gone to different units, and they have gone there and they start building the whole thing. But then they do not realize that it is the same human being, same feelings, everything is the same. How can you're trying to find something um, in a place which is not there, basically, and you're trying to find out outside your house when you know that everything is within yourself, So that mere understanding, I hope it comes back in this younger generation where I don't know whether whether we'll be able to see it or not, but at least when the ISKCON group or the Hare Krishna movement, where we should try to inculcate this in the children, which is quite nice in so many ways. At least the bhakti is coming back and children are learning verses and Sanskrit and everything. But the same thing with the whole family is to be looked after, especially elderly people, not to be felt left alone. So that is one something we could really think about in the present context, actually. And there is something to take away from this 3 or 4 verses is to maintain the relationship and remember what the parents did, because they could have left the children. Some parents do leave them and go because they're so selfish among themselves, so they leave off, or they're not physically well or mentally well that they can't look after the children. So, but with so much of difficulty, they try to give the child away, and whatever circumstances, or they don't have the strength. So there are situations where you find orphans sitting there. I mean, they call themselves as orphan, but they have been looked after by not their own parents, and some people have to be fostered because the original biological parents can't look after the children because of their own whatever drug habits, which we see most in the Western world, but now it is again creeping up in Eastern countries too, because everywhere the source of the problem is being expanded like viruses or like bugs or like infections. So all the drugs, alcohol, destroyed, those are being taken over easily because they're so easily available, one thing. And second thing is they give you great sense gratification. And because of the sense gratification, they fall into this Maya, and then they make one sin after another, one sin after another, and they cannot get out of this. So actually, if the moment you start offering your work to Krishna, then Krishna will always guide you and not mislead you in that path. So he tells in Bhagavad Gita that whatever you do, you offer unto me. So even in your work, if you offer anything you offer, then your mental ability or your consciousness will not be, I mean, you will not be distracted. You will not be, even though when you go there by friends or something, you will think, you will be really very worried and come back again. Suppose by some chance you just go the wrong way, but your conscience will pull you back if you start offering your services to the Krishna and be among the right association. So over here, now in this verse number 7, I think, 8. So now over here, Manu will be asking Father to give the direction, what should he do? Because he's come to this world. Yes, Father has given us the responsibility to bear children, but then give us a direction. Where should we go? What should we do? Where should I live? And so on. So over here, the main thing is that it is said over here, in this life, you do all your work and create the frame, get the fame. And then so that whatever goodness you do, depending on those results, you will see progression to the next life. If you do bad things, then you will see progression to the next life also in a bad way. So as we said the other day also, I was saying like those 2 dogs, or wolves, black and white, good one and the bad one. Whatever you feed more, that is what you will progress. So if you feed good things in your life, you will progress in good things. If you do bad things in your life, you will progress in the bad things. So there is progress all the time. But whether you're going negative, patala or swarga, that's what you have to see. Okay, up or down. So over here now, the Srila Prabhupada tries to explain the importance of this big succession over here. So even though Manu and Shatarupa were bringing in children in the materialistic lineage, that is also fine. They will do karma kanda, they will do all other things, and then they'll see how they can satisfy the Lord, by the devotional service, and in a materialistic way. But whereas then we have the spiritual lineage, This is where, which we are, all of us are following the spiritual lineage. And this is explained over here how Brahma actually receives the main knowledge from Lord Krishna. And then how he gets the knowledge, how to, what to do. So and then he gives that knowledge, passes it on to the next generation. So that is how his sampradaya is formed, or the disciplic succession is formed. And all of us know how it is. We have all these transcendental disciples. So from Brahma comes Narada, his 10th son, Manasika son, then Vyasa, then Madhva Muni, or known as Purna Prajna, Padmanabha, Narahari, Madhava, Akshobhya, Jayatirtha, Gnana Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottama, Brahmanyatirtha, Vyasatirtha, Lakshmipati, Madhavendra Puri. Now all this, now Madhavendra Puri, Ishvara Puri, they all come in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time. Swarupa Damodara and Sri Rupa Goswami and others. Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Krishna Dasa Goswami, Narottama Dasa Thakura, Vishwanatha Chakravarti, Jagannath Dasa Babaji, Bhakti Vinoda Thakura, Gaura Kishora Dasa Babaji, Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. So our knowledge, whenever we pray, we have this 5 or 6 lineage gurus. So we go up to Jagannath Dasa Babaji. We go till there. We have all these things they sell over here. We have this 5 or 6 gurus, and then you put your spiritual master. So over here, Srila Prabhupada will try to say like both the lineages go to the same destination, materialistic or this. So Lord Brahma, now obviously now again Lord Brahma is again trying to, he's very, very happy that his son has asked him, and so he blesses with his own heart for his son and his wife, daughter-in-law. And then without reservation, because he says he's very pleased because you have surrendered unto me. This is how Krishna feels very happy when we surrender unto him. And that he is, the children are very happy to take the instructions from the father. So over here, Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain again how the importance of son and father, or mother and daughter, or whichever say we can see the generation, from parents to the children, is so important. And over here, how again Srila Prabhupada is trying to explain as to how the children become misguided, and then because they get a bit independent and then they go away, and they think that this is what we all of us have done when we came from Krishna, that we thought we are independent. So we are suffering here because of that, because we are not able to understand that sacrifice and surrender, and Krishna is looking over there, waiting, or like the 2 birds on the tree. One bird is going on enjoying his fruits of sense gratification, and over here the super soul is waiting and is trying to see when will that little soul turn towards me, and when he turns towards me, then I can attract him. But the little soul is really into all this Maya and being very, very happy, and becoming fatter and bigger with all these sense gratification. You can see even a podgy soul with not able to move anymore because he's so much engrossed in this material sense gratification that he has no chance of looking back. Then he becomes so ill that he can't even turn his head also to the left, to the back, to see God. So that's what all of us will become if we get so much engrossed in this material world. So now what will happen? Obviously, how Varadeva will come. So before actually going there, I have a lovely thing which I wanted to share with you. It is again regarding how Brahma, how does he receive all the information from? So first of all, let me try to see. So obviously, how the Varaha avatar comes into place. Once, okay, I'll just tell you a bit, then we can know. So when Brahma and then Manu and Shatrupa are busy talking about this, then they'll realize that, okay, where should we go? And then they will find that earth is not there. Okay, where is the earth? It is all in the deepest waters of the ocean. Now we need to get the earth out. So then all the sages will start praying to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Brahma will be sitting and meditating. And then from his nostril, a small thing appears like a small bowl. And that starts becoming bigger and bigger. And then they'll realize it's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then there is Lord Varaha, who will go down into the ocean and pick up Mother Earth and then give it back over here so that new things can happen. Now, let me, I was just thinking we could go into the, I've just brought out some history regarding the some Brahma Sampradaya, you know, and also regarding how um, we all, okay, where did we all come from, you know, human beings, how we came here, and okay. So now we know that the original conscious being in Vedic universe, or aside from the god, is Brahma. He's the first demigod, yeah? And his body obviously came directly from Vishnu. Now we have to understand that normally mothers give birth to children, but this is an exception of here where you will find Brahma has come out from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu, Krishna. Okay, so that is that's a difference of here. So he is called as so Brahma is called as Mahajana, and there are 12 Mahajanas apparently stated in the Shastras. And Brahma is one of them. He's also called as Swayambhu. Swayambhu means, so Brahma's name is Swayambhu, and or Atmabhu, or because he is born out of the abdomen of the father, not of the mother. And father is a seed-giving, life-giving agent. So this life was not transferred to anyone else to take the body. So the life-giver father gave him the body. Therefore, Brahma is called Swayambhu. So this is actually taken from the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam. It was a lecture given at Mayapur, lecture on Srimad Bhagavatam. So now Brahma was initiated by the Krishna mantra, by the Lord himself. And then he becomes a Vaishnava. And then before he was able to construct the huge universe. So this is all before getting into creating all this thing. He is initiated basically. So after initiation, whatever you do, it is more purified, because then you are going with the parampara system, or you're going with the instructions given to you. So you do not deviate and do wrongs, you know, that's what you try to do. So in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Lord Brahma was initiated into the 18-letter Krishna mantra, which is generally accepted by all devotees of Lord Krishna. So we follow the same principle because we belong to the Brahma Sampradaya. So in the Brahma Sampradaya, this is how they initiated. And directly in the disciplic chain from Brahma to Narada. So this is again said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what we are reading also. So we are now Brahma receives all the Vedic knowledge from the Lord, and anybody who is discharging the duties of Brahma is basically in his disciplic succession. And this is the same thing which we are reading now. And then you have all the four sampradayas, and out of the four sampradayas, so the Madhvacharya sampradaya was accepted by Madhavendra Puri. So that is the one which we are, Gaudiya Madhvacharya Sampradaya. That's what we are doing now. And so now coming to how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes into this place. So over here, I just want to read one small thing from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila. So it says from chapter Adilila, chapter 1, 19th verse. Each of the bona fide Sampradaya has its own distinct commentaries on Vedanta. So Sri Madhavacharya's Purna Pragna Bhashya establishes Suddha Dvaita Vada, or purified dualism. So the Mayavadi scholars, they do not accept the Puranas. Srila Madhavacharya and all other authorities accept them as authoritative histories of the world. The Puranas are not chronologically recorded, but the incidents mentioned in the Puranas are actual histories of bygone ages. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the Mahapurana. It is the essence of all Puranas. All of us know that. The Brahma Sampradaya is divided into two schools. So what are they? One is the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and the other one is the Tattvavadi Madhavas or the Dvaityas. So of the Dvaitya school, the Haridasa movement is prominent. So the founder Acharya of Haridasa was Sri Narahara Tirtha, a direct disciple of Madhavacharya, who preached a simplified version of Madhava's Tattva. So the Haridasas worshipped Vittala and other manifestation of Lord Krishna. So what did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He accepted the chain of disciplic succession from Madhava Acharya. But the Vaishnavas in his line did not accept the Tattvavadis, who also claimed to belong to the Madhva Sampradaya. So to distinguish themselves clearly from the Tattvavadi branch of Madhava's descendants, the Vaishnavas of Bengal prefer to call themselves Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we are that Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So Sri Madhva Acharya is also known as Sri Gauda Purnananda. And therefore the name Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya is quite suitable for the disciplic succession of the Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So we are all following the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is coming from the West Bengal. So our spiritual master Om Vishnupada Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj accepted initiation in the Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So that's how we come over there. Now, just only my last paragraph and then we can go back. So this philosophical truth of simultaneous oneness. So you want to know the difference between Achinta Bheda Bheda, yeah? So this philosophical truth of simultaneous oneness and difference was propounded by who? But none other than Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it is known as Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva. So Brahma, Narada and all others, see, when you look at them, Brahma, Narada, all of them are superior to the human beings. Yeah, they're much more powerful. So we take them as lords, as simultaneously one with Lord and different from the Supreme Lord. So they're not same as Bhagwan. We are all one with him. Just as see how example is given over here. When we take gold ornaments, okay, the gold ornaments are one in quality with the main gold. So the gold is gold, whether it is in the watch or bangle or anyway. The qualities are the same, but it is different. But the individual gold ornament is never equal in quantity with the stock gold. So there's a big bar of brick gold you have. For example, I'm saying brick gold is still quantifiable, but we're talking about something which is non-quantifiable. From that infinitesimal gold mountain, you take a small piece of gold, you can never equate to be the mountain, because even though you're part of the mountain, so even though the quality is same, so Achinta Bheda Bheda. So that is where you will have the qualities are same, but you're not same again. So that is the difference of yours. So the stock gold is never exhausted, even if there are innumerable ornaments emanating from the stock, because the stock is Purnam. So the stock is it is whole, it is full. Taking a small drop from ocean will not make it less this thing. So even if Purnam is deducted from the Purnam, still the supreme Purnam remains the same Purnam. So from the big ocean, if you take up a drop, it will not at all. Even though the drop of water is same as the ocean, the quality of the water is same as the quality of the ocean, but the drop is not same as the ocean in quantity. So this fact is inconceivable to our present imperfect senses, because obviously our senses are so contaminated that we can never understand that philosophy. So Lord Chaitanya therefore defined his theory of philosophy as achintya, means you cannot conceive, inconceivable, and is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita as well as in the Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya's theory of achintya bheda bheda tattva is the perfect philosophy of the absolute truth. So this is from the chapter 6, canto 2, 13 to 16 verses. Now coming to how we were also describing over here how Now this there are different types of. I think we have the Shweta boar and also the red boar appearance. I think we have to talk that later a bit, later maybe, or I can read this out for people. I don't know whether 1 second. See. I'm looking into yours. It's not sorry. Yeah, I mean the next verse is what will happen is then how Varaha avatar is formed and all that starts off. So there's a so this Varaha avatar. 1 second, Mataji. Let me just see whether this is actually let me go to the and so we have these beautiful prayers by the sages to Lord to the Varaha avatar. So I have to confirm about the so the white board and the red board. There's a difference over there of the origin of that. So, but I can read over here how the appearance of Lord Varaha comes over here. Okay. So the white board. So after this, I'm just trying to read from half of the thing over here. Srimad, it's again Canto 3. Now this is regarding the red board appearance now. Just trying to see. This is a story of so there's a whole story of here how you can see like how the Varaha avatar appeared of here. So we have the white bull incarnation which appeared during the Swayambhuva devastation. And then how Maitreya Muni is now describing the red bull incarnation that had appeared during the Chakshusha devastation. Now, all these are different devastations. I'm not very much knowing of these, but he relates how the pastimes to Vidura in the same manner in which he had heard them long time ago when Lord Brahma had narrated them to the demigods. So we're going to this story where you know about how Kashyapa Muni and once upon a time at the sunset when Kashyapa, the son of Marichi, he was offering oblations to the Lord Vishnu into the fire, and then his wife Diti approaches him, and then she obviously has so much of so she says the Cupid is forcibly distressing her with his arrows, so she really wants her husband now to gratify her sensually, but because it's not a right time, in the evening. But the Kashyapa could not refuse his wife, and then obviously from then his wife is called Diti, and then she becomes obviously she'll have children, but because it is not in the right time and right auspicious time, from her comes the demons. They come out from their rakshasas, and because she was so much, you have to understand is how she wanted because her her sisters, whatever so Kashyap had many wives. So the other wives over there, they had children. So she also wanted children, but then she could not control her senses. And because of that, she conceived these children at a wrong time. And because of that, these children were not demigods. They were like demons. So what we learn from that is controlling senses is very, very important, because if you control your senses, then you will not go into the wrong path. So because once, like how we say, if you take the arrow from the quiver, or if you then you can't and start aiming at it, and if the arrow goes out from the bow, it can't come back. Yeah. So anything you do wrong, it becomes difficult to. Then you have to go through another generation of God knows how many life generations to rectify that sin, or to even God knows whether we could actually do that, rectify that sin in a materialistic way. So only way who can really forgive you is the mercy of the Lord. And for that, you need to again be in good association. So Maya is so strong that we have to be uh, that we have to be very careful of how we uh, treat it. Sometimes Atithi Devo Bhava, you say, you cannot take Maya as an Atithi over there. It will really destroy your life. So now, but what happens is, then after Diti gets all this thing, she prays to Lord Shiva, and then Lord Shiva, that he can immediately, okay, she realizes this is at the wrong time, but then I think, so I have to I'm just going in breaks. So if I can just go through this, I'll just read over here. So the Kashyapa could not, he could have strongly refused his wife, but because he was also sexually inclined, he tried to pacify Diti, who had become very poor-hearted and talkative due to the contamination of lust. So Kashyapa said, "O afflicted one, I shall soon gratify your desire. It is only due to having a good wife that a man like me can cross over the great ocean of material existence. Indeed, a wife is so helpful that she is called the better half of a man's body. So just as a military commander can conquer invaders while remaining protected within the fort." So, my dear Atiti, although I cannot sufficiently repay you, I will satisfy your sex desire for the purpose of begetting children. I only request you to wait for a few minutes so that I may not become subject to criticism. The present moment is most inauspicious because at this time Lord Shiva rides upon his bull carrier, accompanied by his horrible ghostly companions. He gives such ghosts the chance of getting a gross material body by placing them into the wombs of women that indulge in sexual intercourse during this forbidden period. So Lord Shiva is your sister's husband. So Diti is the daughter of Daksha, and with his 3 eyes, he will see your forbidden act. So in spite of receiving such good instructions from her husband, Diti was so much oppressed by this desire that she caught hold of Kashyapa's, okay, then obviously, literally forcing him into uh, maintaining sexual contact. Yeah. And then what happens is, then after that, obviously she becomes, then she conceives, But then she says, please ensure that my embryo is not killed by Lord Shiva because of the great offense that I have committed against him. So she really wants the children. But then Diti then prayed for Lord Shiva's mercy in a very clever manner. She says, let me offer my obeisances unto the Lord Shiva. He's so great that he can immediately destroy my embryo, but at the same time, he's so merciful and forgiving. Lord Shiva is known as the Lord of all women, that he can spare me from his wrath. So then Diti, obviously, the Kashyapa then says, because of your polluted mind and improper time, your disobedience and your neglect of the demigods, your conception will produce 2 abominable sons who will create havoc within the world by killing innocent persons, torturing women, and enraging the great souls. As a result, the Supreme Lord will incarnate to kill them, just as Indra smashes mountains with his thunderbolt. So that is how we have these demons being born, and that is how Lord will have to come down to this earth to kill these demons. So, over here, Diti feels a bit happy because she thinks like, thank God they'll be killed by the all merciful Lord. So rather than the Brahmanas, because Brahmanas will only curse, but the Lord Supreme Lord can liberate them. So one who offends the Brahmanas or causes fear to others is so condemned that even those who are already in hell or who are degraded species will later on appear, feel no compassion towards them. So everybody is very scared of a Brahmana's curse. Back home also, I remember everybody will be so, if a Brahmana comes, they will have to give it because otherwise the anger is so. Everybody knows who can forget Durvasa, the Durvasa Muni, even though, he's not a Brahmana. So over here, then you can see how Kashyapa then tells Diti, due to your repentance and because you have such firm faith in the Lord, because of your supreme devotion to the Lord, and others will follow the footsteps, and because of having satisfied the Supreme Lord, um, your grandson will be able to see the Supreme Lord, and within and without, and he'll be a reservoir. So after hearing the glories of Prahlada, Diti becomes very pleased, but because she could understand. So her grandson will be who? So she'll have the son Hiranyakashipu, yeah? Hiranyakashipu's son will be Prahlada. So Diti, basically, indirectly, Diti's obviously grandson is Prahlada. And so she becomes very happy knowing that her grandson will be the liberator of everyone, So she's in that way, okay, doesn't matter, I've done a mistake, but I can still, redeem myself. So over here, then Lord Brahma, again, you can find out like how Lord Brahma brings in everybody from there, and then all the next story comes out. So over here, what happens is, I think I'm just going a bit away from the topic, so maybe I'll just leave it here for these 3 verses, and then open up the forum for please for comments and corrections. This is all the story about Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha and Jaya Vijaya and Hiranyaksha and everything over here. So, you will be hearing about Lord Varaha coming in the next thing, but I can actually, I can just go a bit more. So over here, what happens is, so the sons now, where did it come? Where did they come now? Just, it says Kashyapa named the firstborn who was formerly Jaya, Hiranyaksha, and the one who was conceived first, who was formerly Vijaya, was named Hiranyakashipu. So soon after their birth, so these twins exhibited uncommonly bodily features and steel-like frames. They were very, very strong. And then they became so tall that they seemed to touch the sky. And they blocked the view in all directions as they walked. The earth shook with every step. So after great austerities, Hiranyakashipu receives, obviously Brahma gives him lots of boons, and then he becomes not afraid of death at all. And that is when obviously Lord Narsimha will come, with Hiranyakashipu. Then to satisfy his elder brother, now Hiranyaksha comes now. So he comes and takes his club and begins to travel all around the universe and wanted to fight with everyone. But then nobody is able to kill this guy because he's got all Brahma's benediction over there. So Brahma's vows are protecting him. So even the demigods will fear Hiranyaksha. Now when Hiranyaksha saw that Indraloka was vacant, then he went and occupied that actually, basically. After returning from heaven, Hiranyaksha then he went into the ocean. And upon seeing him, all the great aquatics, they panicked and they fled. Oh my God, he's coming to kill us. So finally, after moving about in the ocean for many years, then Hiranyaksha reached Vibhavari, that is Varuna's capital. Then just to make fun of the lords of the waters, Hiranyaksha fell at his feet and smilingly begged, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." He was urging him to come and fight. So seeing Hiranyaksha's arrogance, then Varuna, the water, becomes really very, very angry. And then he curbed his anger by means of intelligence and replied, "Oh, dear one, I have given up fighting because I'm too old. You're so skilled in battle. that I can see no one else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, can satisfy you. So then all the chief of the Daityas suggest that you approach him and thus become rid of your pride by lying down dead upon the battlefield surrounded by carnivorous animals. So without paying any heed to Varuna, then Hiranyaksha goes off. Then what happens is, then he meets who? Narada. Narada will learn. So he will say that the demon learned the whereabouts of the Supreme Lord. After again entering the depths of the ocean, Hiranyaksha saw the all-powerful Supreme Lord in his boar incarnation. So what happens when Brahma is meditating, when the boar comes out, then it becomes really a big boar and literally covering up all the sky. Then this boar literally goes into the water, just dives deep into the water. And then over there, he basically kills this Hiranyaksha. After killing this Hiranyaksha, then he goes and picks up the earth and then he brings it up and places it nicely on the water. So as the Lord Varaha rose out of the water, Hiranyaksha chased him, and okay, that is the fight goes, and Hiranyaksha will be killed anyway here. So this is where you will find the fight between Hiranyaksha and so Lord Vishnu also. So you have to understand, like Lord Vishnu, he is the main military person, basically to kill all these demons, yeah. So he comes in different forms, like the Matsya, then Varaha, Kurma, all these. He comes whenever the demons create havoc. That's when Lord Vishnu comes. So Lord Krishna is the most happy person of there. I mean, enjoying with all the gopis and Radharani. That is Lord Krishna. But Lord Vishnu is the no nonsense person. So you have to be very careful. So I think I will stop here. We are nearly at the end of the session. So I'm really sorry if I was just going overboard. And then please correct me. So Varaha prayer, the beautiful Varaha prayers by the sages. I think we can, in this chapter, we could read so many verses are there where you will find how the Supreme Personality of the, how the sages will try to pray to Lord Varaha in this whole chapter. You will see there'll be prayers. So Lord, thereafter, yeah. So they'll be actually glorifying the Lord. So it comes from from 34 chapter from the verse 34. All the sages utter great respect to unconquerable. So they'll be praying to the Lord from 34 till the end, like how the previous chapters we had for Lord Narsimha, like that. It is till 45. So nearly about 9 or 10 verses we have again for Lord Vara. Okay, I think I will, Mataji, if please correct me, and there are no this thing, then I will stop here, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for the very nice class. So let's see if there's anyone would like to participate with their reflections or comments. Please do so.
Very complimentary. Thank you so much for the class. It was such a nice class. Thank you so much. I have a question, if that's okay.
Please, Mataji, I'll try to answer.
Thank you so much. I was just wondering, because we had Narasimha yesterday. Sorry, there's some disturbance.
Yeah, there is some disturbance in the background. Somebody's audio is Janu Kanya's audio. Sorry, Jyoti Mataji, could you mute? Thank you.
Thank you. I was just wondering, because we had the Narasimha appearance day yesterday, and there was the yagya for the shalagram. I was just wondering, with the regards to the different moods that the Lord takes with his different appearances. I had this sort of almost difficulty to connect with Lord Narasimhadev, because I know we're told that it's Krishna and he's loving to all his devotees, but there's just this feeling that don't make any offense, because the Lord in his Narasimha form doesn't tolerate this. I And I actually left halfway through the yagya, and then I come back because there's so many people. I thought, okay, I'll go around the fire later when the people dispersed a little bit. So I came back, and you know, in my mind, I just had this feeling that I made some offense to the Shalagram by leaving early and then coming back. It's just I don't know. I just have this little bit of discontent within me, sort of how to relate to the Lord and His different features.
Yeah, thank you for the wonderful question, Mataji, because absolutely, I mean, obviously, initially, it takes time, when you initially, because we're still in a materialistic mind and our senses are so much, we imbibe in all the different moods very quickly. But we have to understand that all these are all the expansions of Lord Shri Krishna. So, Narsimha Avatar was required. He was required to be in that form to kill the demon. But he was never like that with Prahlada. With Prahlada, he was blessing him and he literally took him on his lap. So, yes, the fear is always there of seeing the lion or the form. And because the way how Narsimha actually kills Hiranyakashipu, because Hiranyakashipu is a very, very, I mean, horrible demon actually, and he could not even spare his son. You can understand. But to beat fire with fire, Lord Narsimha had to take that form to kill this demon. But it doesn't mean that Lord Narsimha doesn't have a soft heart, So, I mean, outside this roaring appearance, there is a very soft, jelly-like heart inside of Lord Narsimha, and he's very, very, what do you say, merciful to his devotees. So, I don't think you should have the fear, Mataji, for I mean, being in the presence of Lord Narsimha, because all of us see the Ugra Rupa, the very angry form of Lord Narsimha. For you, I can suggest one thing is that for you to really appreciate Lord Narsimha uh, uh, in the softer form, there are different forms of Lord Narsimha where I was telling Shiji Mataji yesterday also, because some forms of Lord Narsimha are really very fearful and you don't want to be there. So there is again softer forms of Lord Narsimha where you can see those photographs of Lord Narsimha where Lakshmi Devi is sitting on his lap, and then we have uh, Prahlada Maharaj, he's just showering his mercy. The Prahlad Maharaj, there are some photos over there. So you get yourself a bit used to seeing the lion face and softer appearance. And then when you see the Ugra Rupa, you might not feel so anxious, So I don't think you should feel bad that you left and you offended anything, because obviously that was the way how your senses played at that time, the mood, because that's how you felt, But asking for forgiveness and then coming back, Lord Narsimha knows that his form is very, very fearful. The normal person can't take it in. Only the most courageous can see Lord Narsimha, and of which we know how Prahlada was so courageous. He did not get scared of Lord Narsimha when he came out in this rupa. He knew it was Vishnu all the while. He knew. So just by relating it that he is Krishna and nobody else, then you should not be fearful. You should not be, don't feel bad, because obviously the Lord knows that we are all human beings, and you can always sit and ask for forgiveness and then try to get back into that mood. I hope that helps, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
I have, I mean, I can share with you a photograph of Lord Narsimha, very, very, very calm one, which Sriji Mataji yesterday were doing Narsimha Aarti. I think, I don't know whether you were there. Yesterday we did Narsimha Aarti. So one of the photos are there where it is very calm and very peaceful Murti of Lord Narsimha, which in the south they pray to this Lord Narsimha a lot. This is where you see when Lord Narsimha is in meditation, basically. So that is the way how you can get rid of that anxiety, And same thing, sometimes when you see the boars also, when Varahavata, when he's very angry, then it is very, very scared. So when Lord is angry, it is very difficult. Imagine how even Arjuna got, so when he saw this universal form of Lord, it was not a pleasing form of Krishna. Universal form of Lord Vishnu was so ferocious, seeing all these so many heads over there and all the mouths opening and some spitting fire, some spitting snakes, some spitting all these people coming out from the mouths and all that. It is so scary that Arjuna said, "Oh God, I don't want to see this, please, please." So Arjuna, a big devotee of Krishna, could not tolerate the ferocious form of the Lord. So we are just simple jivas, So we are okay. So that's all right. So just praying for forgiveness, Sylvia and Lord Narasimha. I'm sure you will become a great devotee of Lord Narasimha, you know. So I hope that helps, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji.
I hope I was able to answer the question.
Yeah, just part 2 of that question, if you don't mind, if there's time.
Yes, Mataji, of course, yes, please.
Just a quick one. So you know how you said like Lakshmi and Narayan have a different mood and they may not sort of tolerate some things that Krishna would tolerate. So is it that, the Lord can't have like this split personality disorder that a human being can have? He doesn't know everything that happens. Like
We cannot
he's
even, first of all, we should
conscious
not even, we should
forms,
not,
but
sorry, Mataji, please say that again. So you
uh,
said about Lord Lakshmi and Narasimha will not tolerate something, you said?
oh, no, no. Yeah, so I'm just thinking because, like, why is it that he relates differently in different forms? So, would he relate differently to the same devotee in a different way, whether you approach Krishna or whether you approach Narayan? Or is it that the devotee's mood evokes the Lord in a particular form, and then, something that may be offensive of a devotee of Narayan may not be offensive for a devotee of Krishna, if that makes sense? Sorry,
Yeah,
Mataji.
I can understand. I can understand that part because I think the moods are different over there we feel. Because Krishna's moods are always like playful and happy and um, like a childlike behavior, right? When we see, so where we find that the childlike behavior in Krishna is we feel like it's more pure, and you have to be above a certain like pure Shuddha Sattva. We have to be in a pure mode of goodness. And so also Vishnu, also same thing. We are obviously, but I don't know why we relate it like that way, because we should never relate our moods with so what I understand is that yes, you are right in somewhere where it all depends upon what mood we are in. We try to see things in that way. So that is a different way of saying, rather than um, the other lords are in a different mood, so we are seeing them in that mood. So I feel yes, you're in one way right, Mataji. If our mood is not the perfect one, like the mood of goodness, then we see as it is the goodness in this material world is always adulterated with with the mode of ignorance all the time. So and there is always so much of rajas in this goodness also. Whereas we don't have the pure Shuddha Sattva goodness mood where we can appreciate Lord Vishnu or appreciate Lord uh, um, Krishna. It is our mood which makes us think that this Lord is very angry or this Lord is very this thing. This is what I think, but maybe I will have to dig deep into your thing and reflect and come back to you.
Yes, I think it's just because I'm trying to understand why the Lord has all these different moods, I suppose. I guess it's to relate to the different devotees that he's dealing with, but he himself is conscious of himself.
Yeah, but as I said in the earlier thing, the different moods are to how he can combat his enemy. So he has to come in that mood so that because the enemy is the Rakshasas, the Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, they're very, very powerful compared to normal people. So they're very, very powerful. So the demigods can't even defeat them. So he has to be a bit like them. So like how like beats like. So he has to be like them to defeat them. If he's not very angry, if he's very soft spoken and all that, demons will obviously defeat him. Even though, of course, I can understand like he can defeat anyone he wants to, but you have to be in the same. So like how you have your heavyweight boxers, they have to be in the same category, right? You can't have a heavyweight boxer with a lightweight boxer. They can't. He'll immediately die. So you have to have the same to same. So Ugra, you have to bring out that anger so that you can kill that demon with the similar nature. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yes, Mataji, thank you so much. I think
Hare
it's just
Krishna,
because I was
sorry.
really conscious of all my offences on that day on Narasimha Chaturdashi. And
Please
I'm thinking,
don't. This is what I'm saying. Please don't. Please
why am
don't,
I
Mataji.
not like that when it's Krishna in the temple, you know? It was just a bit
And please,
confusing.
I think it is just that little bit you get scared. Of course, being Narasimha is not an easy, is not an easy form to really accept. It's not very easy for everyone to accept because some forms are. I mean, some people because of something in a past life, what we do also, we always. Some people are very scared of snakes, or some people are very scared of spiders. Some people are very scared of birds. So something in the previous life, something happens. So we always feel and subconsciously we feel really really very very scared of certain things. And so please don't feel bad at all. You just pray to Lord Narasimha. He is very merciful and he will forgive you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So Shriji Mataji, should we if there are no questions, should we wrap up, Mataji?
Yes, please, Mataji. Let's say our Vaishnava prayer now, all
Yes,
together.
Mataji.
वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji,
Thank
for
you
the
so
nice
much.
class.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.